Welcome movie lovers and various trolls. Today I will be reviewing Rampage. Rampage is a 2018 American science fiction monster film directed by Brad Peyton with a screenplay by Ryan Engel, Carlton Cuse, Ryan J. Condal, and Adam, can't pronounce that last name, based on a story by Ryan Engel. It is loosely based on the video game series of the same name by Midway Games. It follows a primatologist named Davis Okoye who must team up with George, an albino gorilla who turns into a raging creature of enormous size as a result of a rogue experiment to stop two other mutated animals from destroying Chicago. Well, this was certainly a surprise. My first expectation was, oh no, why? But then I saw a bit of the trailer and I was a mixture of apprehensive and excited because it looks stupid as hell, but almost the kind of stupid that I find entertaining. I do admit I love mutated monster movies. I love Sharknado, Anaconda, Mega Shark vs. Giant Octopus, Ice Spiders, Ice Sharks, Shocktopus, all that jazz. They are all so stupid, but they're so stupid on purpose, so you can get in on the fun. As I was watching this, I was extremely surprised to find this wasn't just this crazy mutant monster movie, but it was a crazy monster movie with substance, which are words I never thought I'd say. The characters were great. There was a great deal of emotional depth to all our important characters. Even George, our albino gorilla, had emotional range. They really made him more than just a big scary primate. They made him fun, they gave him humor and heart, and really had him and Dwayne Johnson's character Davis have an emotional bond, which really gives the film a solid foundation. It can go and do crazy fun over the top things because it has this strong emotional core that keeps it grounded. We are given background on Davis and Kate, played by Naomi Harris, which is great because it helps us get to know them and understand them, and it also allows for character development, which is not something you usually see in these kinds of movies. I was really impressed with how much work went into this script, given how on the outside you wouldn't even think they would have bothered. But I'm so happy they did, and because they did, it makes the movie more than one-dimensional. I even enjoy our villains, Malin Ackerman and Jake Lacey, who play Claire and Brett Wyden, gave us that classic supervillain mastermind and their dim-witted evil henchman combo. I enjoy that the woman was the mastermind and the guy was the dimwit. I think Malin completely sold the essence of an evil CEO. She was truly a psychopath, and I love that because psychologists say you are far more likely to find psychopaths running Fortune 500 companies than going around killing people, because those psychopathic traits make them ideal in the corporate world. They can make the hard decisions and climb up the ladder faster than others because they lack empathy and compassion and have no problem stepping over the little people and being cutthroat. So that makes them ideal in the business world, and she sold that. She didn't give idle threats. She didn't even give threats at all, really. If she wanted you out of the way, she got you out of the way. She didn't care who got hurt. I do think the fact she is responsible for the destruction of an entire city, everyone knows it's her fault, and yet she is so sure that she's going to get away with it and walk away a billionaire, I find ridiculous. She's not that stupid. These monsters are heading to her facility because she is luring them there. Who else could they possibly suspect? I also think the special effects when it came to the city destruction were of a lower quality than what I saw went into the monsters themselves. The effects on the monsters was amazing, right down to the tiny little details including facial expression. But then this huge fight starts happening, Davis is right in the middle, debris and dirt are flying around, and he is completely unaffected. I couldn't help but laugh. There was just such a disconnect between what was real and what was green screen. I don't feel they combined the two very well. In this particular moment, I felt like two different entities put into the same frame instead of one well-oiled machine. George is amazing. I would say I love him maybe as much as Mighty Joe Young, and I definitely love him more than Kong. I never liked Kong. I didn't even find his humor or how he communicates that unreasonable, because I've seen enough of the Discovery Channel to know gorillas can communicate with people, and that the more time animals spend with people, the more they pick up human characteristics. So I didn't find any of that to be a reach. I did find the sex joke to be a reach, but I'll let that slide. George and Davis were the dynamic duo, and it was awesome. It was funny having Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Joe Manganiello, because I'm never going to learn how to pronounce that last name, in the same movie because these two guys look so alike. So having them in the same movie was tripping me out. I had recently read an article someone wrote about the bad guys having facial scars cliche, and then I start watching this, and there's Joe playing this military mercenary person, and he has a huge scar on his face. And I had to laugh because it just further supported the argument, which was amusing. Jeffrey Dean Morgan was also a lot of fun in this. He has this air of an arrogant government douchebag, but his personality is the total opposite. He's not afraid to break rules for the greater good. He trusts our leads enough to help them because he thinks they are the best option, and he has a soft spot for animals, and on top of that, a great sense of humor. I really enjoyed the addition of his character. I felt he gave a little bit of Texan sass. As I was watching, I was stunned and thrilled to realize what a diverse cast this was, and it took me a while to notice because it was done so organically. This is exactly how you go about casting movies in 2018. It was inclusive, there was something for everyone, guys look so alike. So having them in the same movie was tripping me out. I had recently read an article someone wrote about the bad guys having facial scars cliche, and then I start watching this, and there's Joe playing this military mercenary person, and he has a huge scar on his face. And I had to laugh because it just further supported the argument, which was amusing. Jeffrey Dean Morgan was also a lot of fun in this. He has this air of an arrogant government douchebag, but his personality is the total opposite. He's not afraid to break rules for the greater good. He trusts our leads enough to help them because he thinks they are the best option, and he has a soft spot for animals, and on top of that, a great sense of humor. I really enjoyed the addition of his character. I felt he gave a little bit of Texan sass. As I was watching, I was stunned and thrilled to realize what a diverse cast this was, and it took me a while to notice because it was done so organically. This is exactly how you go about casting movies in 2018. It was inclusive, there was something for everyone, none of the casting choices involved painful racial stereotypes, it just all works so amazingly. The movie is led by both a male and female actor, both of whom are of color. Our villains are male and female. Even the scene with the military, I saw black actors, Asian actors, female actors, everyone given equal roles and chances to do something that wasn't something they might normally be pigeonholed into doing. It was terrific. This is exactly how we should be doing things. If an actor is good for the job, hire them, and suddenly we see how many people can begin to be involved. Ultimately, I did have a lot of fun with this movie, but for some reason I didn't find it 100% engaging. It had everything